Okay, guys. Source one for this quiz, growing cotton. While easier to grow and store cotton than it is food crops, cotton seeds were easier to separate from the soft fiber. Forced to do the job by hand, each worker could pick the seeds from no more than about 1 pound of cotton per day. Separating these cotton fibers from its seeds was a labor-intensive and unprofitable venture. Only the largest plantations found raising cotton cost-effective. So let's go to the question. Number one, based on source one, why was it difficult for cotton farmers to make a profit from growing cotton? A, cotton took a long time to grow. B, the climate in the United States was not suitable for growing large amounts of cotton. C, picking cotton requires a lot of labor and time. D, cotton seeds could be easily removed from its fibers. Source 2, growth of cotton production. 1790, 4,000 bales of cotton produced, and 697,897 enslaved persons in the United States. In other words, a bit over 500,000 enslaved persons in the United States. 1820, with 1794 being the cotton gin invented. So about 26 years later, 73,000 bales of cotton were produced, and 1.5 million enslaved persons were in the United States. 1840, so 50 years after this first graphic, there were 1.4 million bales of cotton produced in the United States and 2.5 million enslaved persons in the United States. 1860, about 3.8, or to round it up, 4 million bales of cotton produced and about 4 million enslaved persons in the United States. By 1860, cotton production accounted for 58% of all of the United States exports and was valued at $2.5 million. So question 2, using source 2, identify 2 types of resources that were used in the production of cotton. Select 2 that apply. A, human resources, slave labor. B, capital resources, large amounts of money. C, natural resources, water pumps. D, natural resources, large areas of fertile land. Or E, human resources, oxen and plows to till the land. Choose 2. If I'm going too fast, as always, stop the video. And number 2, remember you have to choose 2. Source 3, Mississippi River boat with cotton, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This photo was taken in 1904, about 40 years after slavery of people was outlawed. Bales of cotton cover all the available space aboard the steamship William Garrig on the Mississippi River near Baton Rouge. If you count these bales of cotton, they go up to 9 stacks high there and 10 stacks high here with people standing atop them. Okay, so going down to question 3, how did the invention of the steamboat impact the cotton industry during the 1800s as seen in source 3? A, it allowed more people to travel west and start cotton farms. B, it increased the amount and speed in which cotton could be exported. C, cotton no longer had to be transported long distances to get to markets in the North and Europe. Or D, it increased the number of slaves needed to ship cotton bales. Went back too far. Source 4, railroads in Texas. This picture was taken in 1908. Postcard of the cotton compress with bales of cotton ready for shipping in Taylor, Texas. Railroad cars are stationed between the loading docks. By 1920, cotton was still king in Texas, as railroads extended their reach in the late 1800s across the state. So did their influence. Farmers began to move their cotton compresses, which was a machine that would press cotton into bales that were ready to be shipped. And the compress would bale 500-pound bales of cotton from seaports to the side of railway tracks. No longer did farmers have to move their bales of cotton from their farms to the closest port, like Baton Rouge or New Orleans. They could easily move large quantities of cotton to the northern markets right from their farms or the closest railway station. So question 4 says, based on source 4, what was the main impact railroads had on cotton production in Texas? A, larger loads of cotton could be transported to northern markets. B, cotton could be shipped at a faster pace. C, shipping cotton to Europe became cheaper. Or D, there was no longer a need to ship cotton to seaports. Question 5. Based on all the sources, describe 2 ways new technologies like the cotton gin, the steamboat, and the railroad impacted the United States economy. You can give me sentences or you can give me bulleted points. Either one doesn't matter, but I need 2 ways new technologies like the cotton gin, the steamboat, the railroad impacted the U.S. economy. That means you got to tell me how they impacted the way the U.S. made money. Hit stop in the video if you need it. Number 7, physical map of the United States. This is the Rocky Mountains. This is the Great Basin, Great Plains, Appalachian Mountains, Gulf Coastal Plains. Based on the map, what was a major barrier for settlers migrating west? The Mississippi River, which is right here, the Appalachian Mountains, the Great Plains, or the Rocky Mountains. Number 8, based on the table, which form of transportation was the cheapest way to ship goods across the country in the mid-1800s? A, wagons, B, stagecoaches, C, steamboats, or D, trains? Cheapest way, so you're looking at shipping costs. Number 9, here's your Erie Canal. Going all the way across New York State. It bisects the state. What impact did the Erie Canal have on Western migration? A, increase the population of immigrants in New York City. B, decrease the amount of goods shipped from Western farmlands. C, decrease the speed in which goods could be shipped across the Appalachian Mountains. Or D, increased access to the fertile lands beyond the Appalachian Mountains. Number 10, based on the graphs, this is a graph of cotton production, 1800 to 1860. We can see the cotton production shoots way up. Growth of slavery, 1800. There's about 500,000 slaves in the United States. 1860, there's about 2.3 million enslaved persons in the United States. Based on the graphs, what impact did the cotton gin have on the American economy? A, more Americans wanted to move west to find lands to produce cotton. B, slavery increased with the growth of cotton production. C, increased access to fertile farmlands in the West. D, cotton production became more profitable. So choose the choice, A, B, C, or D, that has something to do with these 2 graphs. And pardon my middle son who just walked through and acted rude. Last question, number 11. What impact did the Transcontinental Railroad have on the economy of the West during the mid-1800s? A. Increased settlement and growth in the region. B. Increase the time needed to ship products to other regions. C. Increase the cost of shipping products to other regions. Or D. Increase the amount of land needed to grow cotton. It's the second time my son has done that while I'm making a video. He likes to make himself heard. Thankfully not seen too. Oh my gosh. Choose your best choice, A, B, C, or D. I'll pop one through a rubber band next time he walks through while I'm making a Zoom video. At least my dogs don't come jump on me and make rude noises. All right, guys. So that is the end of that quiz read aloud.